Hey, Tommy from the Run Testers. In this video we are going to be doing our full review of the Saucony Peregrine 15. Let's see what we thought. Saucony Peregrine 15 costs £130 or $140. It weighs 277 grams or 9.8 ounces for men in a size 8. The drop is 4mm and the lugs are 5mm. The Peregrine line has long been a favourite for trail runners that want one shoe that can be used for a range of things. The latest version aims to continue that while adding a few upgrades across the design of the shoe. Those include an upgraded PWRRUN foam to improve softness and cushioning over varied trail surfaces. For better traction and durability, that foam is covered by a reformulated PWRTRAC outsole. Finally, the upper has been redeveloped using an engineered high-strength mesh to improve comfort and breathability, with additional support in high abrasion areas to enhance protection. The shoe also features a 4-foot rock guard, lace loops to improve the lockdown, and is available in a GTX version.
Let's give you a quick word on fit then. And the one thing I seem to get on very well with Saucony shoes, the moment I put these on, they felt nice and comfortable. There's a few key elements though. There's good room towards the end of the toe box, so my big toe is coming up to about here. The other thing is this reinforced toe keeps this end of the toe box and the top of the uppers off the big toes, so I had no trouble there without bashing out up against the uppers. There's a pretty good structure there, so that is a big plus. Back here, across this section just behind the kind of toe knuckles, it just holds with security. It's not too tight. It's got good lace down across there. Up into the lacing carriage across the midfoot, these are laced in really nicely. There's a medium padded tongue, which is enough to take off any potential lace pinch. I've had them heal really nicely in the heels. I've had no slipping back here. The Achilles just comes up just about the right, so there's no digging in at the back there. Overall, I think a really nice, easy cruising comfort fit. I'm running my regular UK 8.5 here. That is a US 9.5, and overall I would say go true to size in these shoes.
So this fit for me in the Peregrine is absolutely spot on. I'm a size 8 in the UK. This is a size 8. I've always found the Peregrine range to be very, very good balance of all the things that you want in a trail shoe, but one of those is very much the fit and the comfort. There's plenty of space in the forefoot. There's plenty of space around the sides of the foot, and there's a nice bit of padding around there as well. Also, like the tongue, it's a really nice lockdown tongue that feels nicely padded and comfortable. All in all, it's a shoe that I find is very easy to get a nice comfortable fit in, and it feels very nice on those nice long easy runs across multi-terrain, and I would definitely stay to my size in the Peregrine. It's probably one of the most comfortable trail shoes that I've ever tested, so really solid fit on this, and I'd stay to my size. Okay, so I've done about 60-70k in the Peregrine now, and a lot of that has been up on the South Downs. I have gone up to 20k in this shoe, but majority of runs that I've done in it have probably been around that 10 to 12k mark, and they've largely been easy runs, although I have done one slightly harder session because I'm training for the South Downs relay in a few weeks. So I did take this up for quite a high elevation training session, and I really enjoyed it for that. I think the Peregrine is a range that ticks a lot of boxes. It's almost your equivalent to something like the Saucony Endorphin Speed range for when it comes to trails. It's got comfort in it, but it's not really clunky like some trail shoes are. The midsole is really well balanced. It's not really soft and it's not really hard. You can do road to trail with this, and on roads it feels really nice. It runs like a road shoe on road because you just get enough cushioning in that midsole for it to feel comfort, and the outsole it's somewhat soft as well for rubber. It's not really hard rubber that makes it hard to run on harder ground. So it is a shoe that really works across multi-terrain. That same ruling would work if you're on road or if you're on hard rock surfaces. It's designed to be comfortable but also give you a little bit of performance benefits as well. So you've got that comfort side of it that it really does very, very well, but also it feels quite light on the feet. What I find about the Peregrine is when I run trails, I don't tend to run trails the same way that I run roads. I will have quite specific paces. And I generally don't really race on trails. I will do trail races, but I tend to want comfort more than lightweight speed. I do have a lot of trail shoes that are very light, but I don't find them very comfortable. So I always like to opt for a shoe that sort of has a balance of both. The Peregrine is probably going to be the shoe that I decide to use for the South Downs relay because even though it's focused on speed, my focus for me, is always going to be a bit more on the comfort side when it comes to trails than just on lightweight speed. I don't particularly like lightweight shoes on the trails. I want something with a bit of protection, but also has performance elements I want. Things like the grip on the Saucony Peregrine 15 and the Saucony Peregrine range have always been very, very good. Because of that balance where you can run on those harder surfaces, it works very well on harder ground because it doesn't feel too overwhelming, like you're sort of hitting hard plastic when you're running. So it feels absolutely fine on harder ground, but it does a really good job at gripping as well. So on most mud, it's pretty good. I wouldn't use this on really, really thick, wet mud. Then you'd be looking at something like an Innovate shoe that's specifically designed for really gripping into that wet, boggy, muddy ground. But the Peregrine as a general trail shoe is very, very good. The outsole rubber works really, really well, and the lugs really do grip into most mud pretty well. So all in all, it's a really, really solid shoe, and it definitely goes down as one of my, I always said this about the Peregrine range, that if you're just looking for one trail shoe and maybe you're a road runner, spend most of your time on road, but you want a trail shoe that sort of tick all the trail boxes that you want, whether that is going out and doing a nice easy jog, whether that is going on a trail race, you just want one shoe to do it all, which seems to be quite a common thing with trail runners, especially ones that come from road. This Peregrine range has always been a fantastic option for that. It just does everything. It's comfortable, it feels very relatively versatile, it's good at grip, all those sorts of things. It's a solid all-round daily all-purpose trail shoe, and I think the Peregrine 15 is very much in line with that, and probably my favourite of the Peregrines from what I remember of all the ones that I've tested over the past few years.
So in testing, I've run around 20 miles in the Saucony Peregrine 15. That's all been on runnable trails. It's the kind of stuff that you can really attack. So I'm talking mainly uncluttered, not too technical, and only a small few sections with any kind of steep descending. So what you might call kind of easy rolling trails, basically forest floors, fields, compacted mud and gravel, that sort of thing. I've also done a bunch of road commute miles to get to those trails. I've done a lot on very hard, very dry ground because that's how it's been here. So everything has been kind of smoothed and buffed out. And as I said, really runnable. Across those miles, I have found the Peregrine 15 to be a winner for me. It's an unassuming shoe that really performs. Everything is quite smooth, capable, accommodating. They're cushioned with a bit of softness but with good balance, so you're not trading stability here for that protection that you're going to get coming up from the ground. There is still quite a good amount of ground feel as well. Sometimes I find the step-in comfort of trail shoes a bit more challenging than road shoes. They can be a bit more rigid, a bit less forgiving, but the moment I put the Peregrine on, they felt natural and comfortable. And one real highlight here, I'd say, is the fit is absolutely spot on in these shoes. Then on the move, I would describe the ride as mildly cushioned, but it's not overly soft. It's certainly not really bouncy, particularly if you're comparing it to the super trail shoes that we're seeing more and more of at the moment. You know, the likes of the North Face Vective Pro 3 or the Adidas Ultra Speed Ultras, forget the name of those the wrong way around. Anyway, the thinner wedge of PWRRUN foam here is a bit more trad and very controlled, but you do get a bit of snap coming back when you pick your feet up fast. Particularly, you're going to unlock the fluid energy that comes with this shoe, and you get some good response. Now, there's enough cushion to take the edge off the tarmac as well, and on those really compacted trails that I talked about. So for those mixed terrain ultras and trail runs, I think these shoes have really good potential. Everything feels well held, stabilised, I think controlled, balanced. The transitions are nice and smooth. They feel pretty light and sprightly on the foot, and they successfully, I think, strike a balance between where the midfoot platform is big enough to provide the stability, but not so big and hefty that the shoe gets cumbersome and overcooked. So I could cruise happily and pick my way along trails with good precision in these shoes. I think durability looks good as well, with no worrying wear and tear from what I've seen so far in those first 20 miles. Verdict then, and for the terrain I've tackled and the miles I've covered, Peregrine 15 ticks a lot of boxes for me. It's a shoe you could just put on, get moving, kind of forget you're wearing. And on my 90-minute run, it had all the signs of a shoe that I would happily wear for everything from shorter, faster tilts at runnable trails and terrain to those kind of day-long ultras where you might encounter a mix of groomed trails, firmer terrain, maybe a bit of road thrown in when you're going back into villages and towns. The cushion isn't overdone, it is just right in terms of protection. The ride is easy and smooth in the transitions. The shoe is light on the feet, controlled and balanced. I think I'd be able to use it for the same kinds of runs as shoes like the Hoka Speedgoat 6, although maybe it's not quite as fast as a Speedgoat 6, or an Asics Gel Trabuco 13, maybe a North Face Effective Endurance 4, or a Merrell Agility Peak 5. It's that kind of shoe that you can do long sort of daily miles on mixed terrain in, or move up to longer hours on feet in excellent comfort. It's got all-round good utility trail shoe, basically. It's good for cruising and clipping along, and I think comes at a pretty good value price.
So my verdict on the Saucony Peregrine 15, I think you probably got it there from the run test. I think it's a fantastic shoe and pretty much just follows on from the previous versions of what I expect from the Peregrine range. It is solid, all-round, do-it-all trail shoe. It's got everything you could possibly need in a trail shoe. It's very comfortable. It feels... You can pick up the pace in it. It feels really nice on easy runs. You can do road to trail in it. You can go on harder surfaces. You can go on wetter, muddier surfaces. And it just ticks all those boxes. It's got a really nice midsole in it. Great outsole. Really like the upper. It's very, very comfortable. So yeah, a very big fan of it. I can't sing the praises of the Peregrine enough because I've always been a big fan of it. But I think this is a really nice version of it. And I've very much enjoyed testing it over the past few weeks. I think it's a good option if anybody is looking for a solid all-round trail shoe. Maybe you just want one trail shoe, or you want a workhorse trail shoe that you can do lots of different stuff in. But I'm probably going to be using this for the South Downs Relay in a few weeks. Even though I have carbon plate trail shoes, I find this is probably going to be the one that's the most comfortable for me and my style of running when it comes to hitting the trails relatively hard. That's it from us on this full review of the Saucony Peregrine 15. Thanks a lot for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe and click that little bell. And go to the Catch and Play. You can find it to our podcast, which comes out a couple of times each month. Thanks a lot for watching. Catch you next time.